everybody. Welcome to our next video in the series, the Hope's Legacy Equine Rescue How-To series. And today we're going to be talking about new horses. When a brand new horse comes in and you're meeting them for the first time. So today was our first day, all of us meeting as yet unnamed stallion. Though we all have some thoughts on that. And generally meeting a new horse, of course, I'm as much guilty of this as anybody. You want to always be mindful. You want to always be perfect. You want to always do all the right things, and you're not gonna 100% of the time. So we're talking about ideal circumstances. Ideally, you're gonna be mindful at all times. Ideally, you're gonna be walking up to a pen and thinking about this horse before you even get anywhere near them. Like, where are they? What are they doing? Are they eating? Are they not eating? Are they hiding? Are they with other horses? You know, what are all the signals you're getting before you even get close to them? And when you kind of get into their bubble, because a horse has sort of a bubble of awareness around them, when you get into that and they recognize that you're there, like, what do they seem to be thinking about that? Like, how are they reacting? Are they moving away from you? Are they coming towards you? Are they curious? Or do they seem apprehensive? Those are all things we need to be doing or need to be striving to do. And if you don't hit the mark 100% of the time, don't beat yourself up, but work on it. You know, try to be mindful at all times, especially with a new horse. So yeah, so today was our first day meeting this guy, and I'm just kind of thinking, like, from the team, what kinds of things were you thinking when you first met him? What kinds of things did you do or not do based on what signals he was giving you?
I just went up to the gate here, and I just waited to see if he would come this way. I waited to see, like, how much he was interested in if I was there or not.
And I think I did the same thing. Like, of course, I was like, oh, Palomino! And I was very excited because he's super cute, and I know he's going to get cuter and cuter. But trying to keep that energy a little bit under control as I'm coming up to him and noticing whether he seems curious. He does seem very curious, but he also seems a little worried. So, like, I had the muck bucket, and I was going over to muck for coffee, and I let him sniff through the fence. I let him sniff the bucket. I let him sniff the handle of the scooper, and he did approach me. So I felt okay, like, reaching out a hand, and he sniffed my hand, and he let me pet his nose.
Yeah, so I went in and I mucked his area, and I first allowed myself to step back and kind of assess in my own way, like, who are you? Where'd you come from? What are you all about? And that allowed me to also, you know, kind of set my intention of, I'm going to go into his space and I'm going to be aware and be thoughtful and patient with him, and kind of watch how he moves around his new space, because this is all new. I'm new to him, and it also allowed me to bring my breathing down, which is super important, to stay calm, because if you're calm, they're calm. So I went in, and he was apprehensive, and what I mean by apprehensive is that he was, you know, I was bringing in a bucket, I was bringing in a little stroller, like roller thing, and a pick, and you know, all these things may be new to him, so he was checking me out, and I was watching how he was moving, and as he's a stallion, I was sure to not corner him in a space where he would get wily and really uncomfortable, and because the last thing I want to happen is for him to have a bad experience and me to have a bad experience, because that gets passed down to each person that then enters the area that he's living in. So you always want it to be a good experience for everybody. So,
And I think, you know, and this sense of being mindful and aware is very different from being afraid. If you are afraid of a horse, either take a step back to, like, get yourself to a good space, you know, calm down, or don't engage, you know, because they're going to pick up on it, and it's just going to be a cycle that feeds. I think you had said the other day or earlier today, Wendy, like, and talking to them, like, if your heart rate's up, if your breathing rate is up, if you're feeling anxiety because you're like, oh my God, I don't know who this horse is, and, you know, don't do something that you're uncomfortable enough with that it's going to pass on to the horse, because it's going to kind of change his whole experience of the humans, and then he's going to expect some of that from people.
Yeah, if you go in and you say, "Hey, horsey, I'm in here to muck your paddock and just chit chat," and that definitely will, they'll pick up on your energy and see that you're at ease, and it'll make it a pleasant experience. And
I was gonna say another new horse we had today, one I had not met before, was Timmy, and I went in I was gonna go muck with Timmy, and I'm like, I don't know who this horse is, and he's very he's a confident boy, and he's very social, and he's coming over while I'm trying to bring the muck bucket in, and he's like, "Oh, you're coming in? I'm going out." And I was like, "No, you're really not." And that's certainly something, like, he's not a small horse, he's a confident horse. That's one where you might not be okay with that. I'm okay with that. Like, I have some experience with big, weird, pushy horses, so I handled him, I got him to back up, we talked a little bit, and I came in. But if you encounter that and you're just like, this is about to turn into excuse me, loose horse, just stop, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You just need to kind of alert your team, like, hey, we need to muck, but I either need another person or we need a strategy for dealing with this.
And that's a really good point, because this is this horse's first week with meeting a bunch of new people. Next week, he's going to be way more comfortable with the routine and how things are going. He's going to get more confident, and
Yes.
he's going to change. So you always, like, all these things that we're mentioning, it's not just like a one and done. It's every single time you're approaching a pasture or a paddock, like assessing, being aware, being thoughtful and mindful. I mean, it kind of never stops.
And this guy too, I think, we bumped into Kyle after we were done eating, and we got a little bit more of his backstory to know that, like, he's been with the same people for a long time, and not really, he's had a lot of love, but he hasn't had a lot of handling as far as, like, a halter and his feet and all the things. So his apprehension is not necessarily that he views people negatively. He just hasn't got a clue what we're trying to do. And he's very thin. We've had horses that have come in like crazy skinny, and they seem so sweet and they're so calm, and then they get a little meat back on their bones and they're like, wait a minute, I'm Mr. Sassy Pants. So their personalities could change as they settle in, as their health improves. So every day is a new day with these horses. And when it comes to feeding a horse that you've never met before, I think a lot of the same rules apply. They apply extra. I mean, you're bringing food. That's something that they want. So you're going to need to pay attention and be mindful. How are they interacting with you? How are they so focused on the food that they're just going to tear into you if you take the food in with them? So don't just charge in with a bucket of food. Take the time to maybe look at their body language. Maybe you know a lot about horse body language. If you don't, there should be some links to some resources. But I mean, generally ears. You tend to look at the ears. Generally, you look at, like, if I come in with a bucket of food, do they spin and show their butt to me?
When I brought in the alfalfa for Timmy today, he was really interested in it, and they came up quickly, but he just wanted the alfalfa. So I just kept walking back toward the run-in where his bucket was, and once it was in there, he was never leaving.
And you just don't know. Like, are they really into food? Are they food aggressive? Are they, they're not doing this because they want to hurt you. They might just be really hungry. So, take a deep breath, talk it through with them, get yourself to a good place. And if it still doesn't look like it's going to work, it's okay. They'll be all right. You'll be all right.